In today's episode of Billionaire's Beginnings, I'm going to be using a bunch of different money methods to make $11 million so that we can make some new exciting purchases. So when I started the money grind, the nightclub sell missions were currently double money and the wall safe was paying out triple money. So the first thing I did was collected 250k from the wall safe and then went to do a sell mission. I had over $2 million worth of stock built up, so I did a sell mission in a public lobby. But as I was doing it, all of a sudden, bullets started raining down from above, and I decided to swiftly change sessions and just sell in an invite-only session. I did not want to take any chances with potentially being griefed since the cargo is worth so much. So I changed to an invite-only session and sold the product for just over 1.9 million after Tony took his $100,000 cut. Now, building up all that product for that sale required me to go AFK for quite some time. So in the meantime, I did make sure to resupply my other passive income businesses, and the first one I decided to sell off afterwards was the bunker. The sale took only 10 minutes to complete and I made $630,000. Next up was the Blue Stuff Lab, and I had full stock and I did a sell mission in an invite-only lobby. We got one sell vehicle, which was very lucky, but unfortunately during the mission something happened where I had to get out of the truck in order to move some cars around, and the sell mission just ended there. So lost out on $500,000 worth of product, which was unfortunate, but we still had other businesses to sell off. So from there I went over to my grass farm, sold that off for $315,000, and that only took about 15 minutes worth of work. After that I did one quick payphone hit for $85,000 before ending off the grind for the day, because the next day was going to be the new update week where we now have double money on Acid Lab sale missions. So the first thing I did on day 2 was went over to my Acid Lab. It was almost completely filled up, and I sold it in a public lobby with 20 or more people so that I'd get a 50% bonus on top of that already 2 times money. The sell mission only took 15 minutes and I made $905,000. So once that sale was finished, I then did the best money method in the entire game, which is the KO Preco heist. I made almost $1.5 million with it in just 55 minutes worth of work. And to finish off day 2 of the money grind, I sold off the Coca-Cola lockup, which went for just over $500,000. To start off day 3 of the money grind, I did another KO Preco heist, except this time it was just under 1.4 million. We got the tequila as our primary target, which is the worst, but we got fairly decent secondary loot. Right after that, I did another Acid Lab sale mission for just under $1 million this time, and that's because I made sure to change the name of the product. It gives a small money boost, but because we did it in a public lobby with 20 or more people, that meant that that boost was increased once again by 50%. Now, some people this week have experienced some problems with the Acid Lab not receiving their money on their sell missions, and a simple explanation for that is built into the game, the Acid Lab can only make you a maximum of $1,005,000. So if you happen to have a sale that goes past that, you won't receive the money because they think that you're glitching or modding. So keep in mind that when you're doing your Acid Lab sell missions, try to keep it so that the final total number will be under that amount. If you do that, you'll always receive your money. And on the topic of things happening this week, I then made sure to do the 2 weekly time trials, the regular time trial and the HSW time trial, to total 350k. They were really easy to complete this week with the Hakuchu drag, so I highly suggest you guys doing that as well. And right after that, I switched over to my secondary character and started up another KO Preco heist there. Now, it took me about an hour and 15 minutes to complete that one because I don't have stuff like the Phantom Wedge that makes setups easier, but I did make 1.5 million from that heist. And finally, I switched back to my main character and sold off the stock that I had built up in my nightclub because I did go AFK for about 10 to 15 more hours. Now, the first nightclub sale was in a public lobby with 20 or more people, getting me that 50% bonus, and I completed the sale and it said I made $1.1 million, but for some reason, when I logged back into my game the next day, it showed that I didn't make that money. Sort of odd, maybe it didn't register, but in the end, I had to do the sell mission all over again, once again in a public lobby, and this time we only made just under $1 million, and I assume some of that stock was taken away because the game thought that I quit my sell mission. But in the end, it doesn't really matter because we still made the $11 million figure, the amount we need to buy the new items for today. Now, for those who may not know, I've recently decided to build different garages on this account. So the new one we're going to do is a full supercar garage, my top 10 favorite supercars. Now, we already have 3 of them, the T20, the weaponized Ignis, and the Virtue. These 3 are incredible, and if you want to see more about them, you can check out the episodes where we got them in the series. But today I bought 4 new supercars, with the first one being the Zentorno. This one is one of the most beautiful looking cars I think they have ever released in GTA Online. It was one of the original supercars of the game released way back in the day. It has a top speed of 122 miles per hour, which right now isn't that great, but back in the day it was fairly decent. But the thing that I like the most about it is its aesthetics. I think it looks incredible, it's pretty fun to drive, and for the price you can't really get much better. The next pickup was the Torero XO. This is one that a lot of people have in their top 5 or top 10s. It has fairly decent handling and a decent top speed at 131 miles per hour, and it's just incredibly good looking, of course being based off of the newer version of the Lamborghini Countach. Overall, it's a great car, but the main downside is that price at $3 million. Next, I purchased the Thrax. This is of course based off the Bugatti Divo. Quite a bit of money once again, but this car looks amazing. It may be my favorite looking supercar. Now the acceleration isn't the best because of its weight, but when you hit those top speeds and its handling at those top speeds, you'll realize it's a great car for driving and for racing. For me, it's a must-have because it's based off a car that I love in real life, but when it comes to actual practicality in the game, it's actually relatively worth it. And with that being said, the final purchase for the episode is the Krieger. This thing is incredible. One of the best handling cars I've driven in the entire game. While it does have a fairly decent top speed, by far its best attribute is its handling, and its handling at its top speed. Going around corners is easy, it drives like a rally car, crazy downforce, but still goes very quick. It's a car I've wanted for quite some time, and I'm glad I finally have it, and it's definitely one that I suggest you guys picking up too if you don't have one already. So with that being said, we now have 7 of the 10 cars for the garage filled. We now have to do the final 3 in a future episode. If you do enjoy the style of making money and then purchasing these items or making these garages in the game, let me know in the comment section down below and leave your suggestions for what we should go for next once we complete this garage. I will be making a new type of Rags to Riches series in the next week or so make sure to keep an eye out for when that drops. And the final thing I want to say for the video is thank you everyone for the incredible support over the months, over the years. I really do appreciate it. I look forward to making lots of new content in the future, and with that being said, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.